Hey, how's it going? This is Larry. I'm back with another breakdown series. This time, I will be diving back into the book of Revelation and dealing with all 19 verses of chapter 11. I'm actually going to start from the top this time because I think this chapter needs to be explained in chronological order. Without further ado, let's begin. Revelation chapter 11, verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. Revelation chapter 21, verse 15 mentions this reed too. Now the reed was like unto a rod. What is the rod referring to according to scriptures? This is referring to righteous teachers taking the place of unrighteous teachers to rule/teach saints. Let's get the precepts. Keep the word rod in mind. Revelation chapter 2 verses 26 and 27. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. Now back to chapter 11, verse 1. And the angel stood. All 7 angels/churches are standing by keeping the commandments. Revelation chapter 15, verse 2 mentions this too. I covered this meaning in my Revelation chapter 15 breakdown. Let's keep it moving. Saying, rise. Now this does simply mean pay attention and do what I'm about to tell you to do. Let's look a little bit deeper though. What is rising is understanding by finding out who keeps the commandments. The prayers of the saints rise to God for him to bring salvation to them. Here's the evidence. Keep the word incense and ascendant in mind and compare them to the word rise in the main text. I'm turning to Revelation chapter 8. I'm going to read verses 2 through 4. And I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before God out of the angel's hand. Going back to Revelation chapter 11 to prove that the saints rose and measured the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. The same thing was repeated 3 times. The saints were identified. Revelation chapter 7 goes over this. But let's go about dealing with the matter with different verses. The temple of God is referring to the people that keep the commandments, not a specific building. Revelation chapter 21 verse 22 proves this. The altar is the same thing. The saints are under the altar worshiping/obeying the commandments. Revelation chapter 8 verse 3, the scripture that we read earlier, mentions the altar, and Revelation chapter 6 verse 9 mentions it again. The end of Revelation chapter 11 verse 1 says, and them that worship therein. That sums everything up right there. Next verse. But the court, which is without the temple, leave out. The explanation is in the verse. And measure it not. Who is John being told to not count with the saints? For it is given unto the Gentiles. The people that don't keep the commandments are the Gentiles. It's time for some backup. Here's the Gentiles definition. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. Now I'm going to go back to the main verse. And the holy city. This is referring to the saints that keep the commandments. If there is any doubt, just glance at Revelation chapter 21, verse 2. Shall they tread underfoot 42 months? Most of the Gentiles did not listen to the teachers while Christ and the disciples taught the word. After Christ's death, Paul became the apostle of the Gentiles. The 42 months is referring to the 3.5 years of Christ and the apostles' ministry. 42 months equals 3.5 years. The next chapter talks about this, but we will leave it alone for now and deal with it with the chapter 12 breakdown series if the Lord lets me bring it out. I'm going to the next verse in Revelation chapter 11. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses. The power is the scriptures. We covered the power definition with Revelation chapter 2, verses 26 and 27. Now things get a little interesting. 2 witnesses are mentioned. Let me keep reading and then come back to explain who they are biblically. And they shall prophesy 1,260 days. 1,260 days equals 3.5 years. This is a repeat of verse 2. Let's keep it moving. Clothed in sackcloth. This is saying the same thing too. They are being humbled because sinners/Gentiles are not listening/treading the holy city underfoot. More understanding is given in Matthew chapter 7, verse 6. Let's wrap up part 1 right here and continue with verse 4 next time. Please make sure that you are subscribed to receive the notification when part 2 is uploaded. Have a nice day. Bye.